Well, hey everybody, welcome back. As if I don't have enough 5188 hoppers, ScaleTrains released another round, and I could not help myself into getting the entire NS run, some of the STLX, and all of the CSX, some of which are not here yet. The rest of them just shipped out when I realized I forgot to order 5. But I'm going to show you these, since we've already reviewed them, just real quick. We'll go over weight. And then I'll do an actual run-by for once, and run by a CSX consist of several of these. Some of them not ScaleTrains, but ScaleTrains definitely bringing up the rear on that consist. So let's go ahead and get these unboxed and see what you get. Just kind of an informational, hey, these are out again. We'll get into this right now. Hoppers. So first up is the operator. Operator versions of ScaleTrains cars are less detailed but economically priced to where you get more bang for your buck. You're not going to have separately applied grabs. Here's a list of the parts. It's limited compared to the rivet counter that has a higher quality, more parts, etc. But I did want to show you what an operator looks like, operator car, compared to the rivet counterpart that has more detail. So this is NS. One thing I wish any manufacturer would do, preferably ScaleTrains since we're looking at them, is put out a bunch of these with the reflective FRA striping that's required. But there's the NS. You do have plastic walkways. I believe that's different than the metal ones on the rivet counter. A little less detail, like I mentioned before. We will put them side by side. There's a different coupler type on here. A brake wheel and brake chain detail are on there, and there's cross walk for the coupler down here, but I believe that's also plastic versus metal. Air cylinder detail in there, along with some plumbing to facilitate getting the products in and out. NS logo and all the load limits and stuff look great, so that's not a problem at all. And more of the same on the side. On the bottom you have the shaker panels are on here, and the 3 bays for releasing the product, and the little holes that connect and brace between the different bays, I think, that facilitate from warping those bays with the weight of the product. Now as I pull the rivet counter out of the box, which has the exact same packaging, so nothing to see really there, you see some of the differences right off the bat. No pun intended from the ScaleTrains motto, see the difference, but there are these roller bearing caps inside because when these wheels move, the roller bearing caps on the wheels turn. That's different from the operator that does not do that. You do have the etched metal that I talked about up top. There are separately applied grabs up top that you can see here that are not present on the operator. Again, metal here versus plastic here. And we're on the other side. Let me get it side for side so you can see, but there's still, you get the air reservoir detail and such. There is it's going to be hard to tell without turning it about right there, but you can see it peeking out. The silver tipped brake line hose and coupler cut lever is on this, along with a grab on the ladder, not on the operator there. So those are just some of the differences between the two. This is a patched out BNSF that's been changed to STLX, and I think that runs out of St. Louis, but I'm taking kind of an educated guess there. There is FRA mandated striping here. It's not reflective like on the real thing, but it is present, as you can see. And there's more markings and writing along the car, including along the shaker panel, the warnings. The shaker bracket, I mean, on the discharge bays here. Around there you can see a lot of the warning written. Now if I zoom in enough, you may be able to pick that up in 1080p, but Usually what I find on ScaleTrains product is it is legible. You can also at the certain angles see the ribbing of the car. Kind of depends on the angle, but you can see that as well. Okay, so we'll check NMRA compliance first. Wheel sets appear to be on point. I don't know how well you're seeing that with the reflection of the metal, but they are all in gauge. Even though this is HO scale. Da-da-ching. Okay, 7 inches, close to 7.5 actually for car body length. NMRA rule for weight is that you have 1 ounce for the initial weight and then ½ an ounce for each inch. And with 7 inches, that means 3.5 ounces plus the ½ inch. It's like 3.25 plus the 1 initial. It should weigh 4.2 ounces, 4.25 ounces, I should say. I am weighing this for the first time. I don't know what it's going to come out as, but let me get that cleared out. And it's 4.4, so that's pretty much on the money. A little on the heavy side, but very, very minutely. 4.4 ounces, 126 grams. So the weight is correct. We'll check the operator. 4.3 ounces, that's on the money. So NMRA compliant with both the wheel sets. I did the coupler height off camera, that is compliant. We're going to set these on the rails here and we'll do a body wobble test just out of the box. Sometimes those trucks need to be tightened up, but I know this STLX one is looking kind of wobbly. Yeah, so pretty wobbly. Sometimes trucks just need to be tightened up. That thing is wobbling all day. This one, way better. That's kind of how it should be. If you don't have wobble, it looks realistic when it goes down the track and less likely to derail, because if you're wobbling in a curve and then you hit a switch, you know, it's going to greatly increase your chances of derailment. So one little minute detail that I always fail to mention on these, but there is even writing on the trucks here on this rivet counter version. So the trucks have information printed on them as well. So very, very detailed. Might need a little tightness. I can feel it. There's some wobble to that. The tightness will probably fix. So sometimes it just happens in shipment. Sometimes it's a bigger problem and it will not tighten right. But just so you're aware, check that. The CSX rivet counter just real quick with FRA striping and the older CSX logo. Same with here. And then the operator with the How Tomorrow Moves bracket logo, but no FRA striping and some of the details not there that we talked about on those operators. That is the CSX run of these.